There are some lives that history records, and then there are lives that history cannot quite explain. Among the countless saints who have walked the path of faith, sacrifice, and devotion, one figure stands apart, not just because of holiness, but because of the unsettling mystery that surrounds every chapter of his existence. Padre Pio was not simply a man of prayer, he was a paradox, a living enigma, a priest whose life seemed to blur the boundary between the natural and the supernatural so completely that even today, decades after his death, the world still struggles to understand who or what he truly was. To speak of Padre Pio is to step into a story where faith and doubt collide, where science raises questions it cannot answer, where witnesses testify to events that seem impossible, yet refuse to be dismissed. His life does not fit comfortably into logic, and that is precisely what has made him one of the most mysterious saints in history. It all begins with an event that would define his life forever. One quiet day in 1918, while deep in prayer before a crucifix, something happened that would send shockwaves through both the church and the scientific world. Padre Pio cried out, overwhelmed by a vision so intense, it seemed to tear through the fabric of reality itself. When it ended, he was no longer the same. His hands, feet, and side bore open wounds, wounds identical to those of Christ during the crucifixion. They bled, and they did not heal. For 50 years, doctors came, experts examined him. Some approached with reverence, others with suspicion. How could wounds remain open for decades without infection? How could they bleed consistently without deteriorating the body? Some claimed it was a miracle. Others insisted it was self-inflicted or psychosomatic. Yet no explanation ever fully satisfied the evidence. The mystery only deepened with time. But the wounds were just the beginning. There were whispers, at first quiet, then growing louder, of something even more unbelievable. People began to claim they had seen Padre Pio in places he had never physically been. Soldiers spoke of encountering a robed priest on distant battlefields, a figure who warned them, guided them, or even saved their lives. Travelers described conversations with him in cities far from his monastery, and yet records showed that he had never left his small town. How could a man be in two places at once? The idea defied reason. It challenged everything people understood about the limits of human existence. And yet, the testimonies were too many, too consistent to be easily dismissed. Some called it bilocation, a supernatural ability granted only to the rarest of mystics. Others called it imagination, coincidence, or myth. But those who believed never doubted what they had seen. Then there was his gaze. To stand before Padre Pio, many said, was to feel exposed, not physically but spiritually. People would enter the confessional prepared to speak, only to find themselves silenced as he revealed their sins before they could utter a word. Hidden thoughts, forgotten actions, secrets buried deep within the soul. Nothing seemed beyond his awareness. Some left in tears, overwhelmed by the experience. Others avoided him altogether, afraid of what might be uncovered. It was as if he could see beyond appearances, beyond words, into the very core of a person's being. Was it divine insight, or something else entirely? Even more unsettling were the stories. Padre Pio himself shared accounts of violent spiritual battles that took place behind the closed doors of his room. He spoke of being attacked in the night, thrown from his bed, beaten by unseen forces. Those nearby sometimes heard the sounds, crashes, struggles, cries in the darkness, yet found no physical intruder when they entered. The marks on his body, however, were real. Bruises, scratches, injuries that seemed to appear without cause. To believers, these were signs of a soul engaged in a war beyond human sight, a battle between good and evil in its most raw and terrifying form. To skeptics, They were evidence of psychological distress or fabrication. But again, no explanation could fully contain the mystery. And yet, for all the extraordinary phenomena that surrounded him, what made Padre Pio truly compelling was not just what happened to him, but how he endured it. Because his life was not one of glory, it was one of suffering. Despite the growing crowds, the devotion of the faithful, and the undeniable impact of his presence, Padre Pio faced intense scrutiny from within the very institution he served. Church authorities investigated him, questioned him, and at one point imposed strict limitations on his ministry. He was forbidden from publicly celebrating Mass. His ability to hear confessions was restricted. For a priest whose entire identity was rooted in serving others, this was a devastating blow, and yet he did not protest. He did not rebel. He obeyed, silently. This quiet submission added yet another layer to his mystery. How could a man believed by many to possess such extraordinary spiritual gifts, accept such humiliation without resistance? Was it humility? Was it faith? Or was it something deeper, something that reflected a complete surrender to a divine will beyond human understanding? As the years passed, stories of miracles began to spread. People claimed to be healed, physically, emotionally, spiritually, after encountering him or praying through his intercession. Illnesses vanished, lives changed, despair turned into hope. Even after his death, reports of miracles continued, as if whatever power had surrounded him in life had not faded with his passing. Eventually, the Church declared him a saint, but even canonization did not resolve the questions. If anything, it amplified them, because sainthood confirmed his holiness, but it did not explain his mystery. And perhaps that is the most fascinating part of Padre Pio's story. He never tried to explain himself. He never sought to convince skeptics or prove believers right. He did not write elaborate defenses of his experiences. He did not attempt to control the narrative that grew around him. Instead, he remained focused on one thing: prayer. While the world debated who he was, he simply lived. While people argued over whether his experiences were real, he endured them without complaint. While others tried to understand him, he seemed uninterested in being understood. And that silence, more than anything, has kept his mystery alive. Because in a world that demands answers, Padre Pio offered none. In an age driven by explanation, he remained unexplainable. Even today, his story continues to draw people in, not because it provides clarity, but because it challenges it. His life forces us to confront questions we cannot easily answer. It invites us to consider the possibility that there are realities beyond what we can see, measure, or prove. Was he a true mystic, chosen to reveal glimpses of the divine? Was he a man whose mind and body manifested extraordinary phenomena beyond current understanding? Or was he something else entirely, something that exists at the edge of both faith and reason, where neither can fully claim him? Perhaps the truth lies somewhere in between, or perhaps it lies beyond both. What is certain is this: Padre Pio's life refuses to be reduced to a simple explanation. It resists categorization. It defies certainty. And in doing so, it continues to captivate generation after generation. Because deep down, there is something within us that is drawn to mystery. Something that recognizes that not everything can be explained. Something that wonders if, just maybe, there are truths that exist beyond the limits of human understanding. Padre Pio does not give us answers. He gives us questions. And in those questions, his story lives on, unsettling, fascinating, and impossible to forget. We hope that this video has been to your liking. And if you love it, do not forget to give a like, share it, and subscribe to our channel for more beautiful visions from Padre Pio. And if you want to know more about interesting topics, Leave us your comments and suggestions until next time.